So, thank you for joining us for another Financial Literacy Network podcast episode. I'm Bob Stammers, and I'm a volunteer at the FLN. And the FLN comprises CFA charter holders with significant experience in designing, implementing, and managing financial literacy and investor education programs globally. And our goal is to share that information and expertise among not only other CFA societies, but organizations around the world. So today's guest is Raul Alfonso, who, when not acting as board member and chair of the Financial Literacy Committee at the CFA Society Portugal, and professor of finance at Nova SBE, which is responsible for something called the Field Lab, which empowers financial literacy and supports the general public through financial topics. So he's also chief economist at MFO Multifamily Office and a member of the investment committee at MFW, which is a Multifamily Wealth, a London-based financial advisory firm. And if you want to get some more information on Raul's background, it's there on the title slide. So Raul, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me, Bob.
So I want to concentrate on the Financial Literacy Foundation and how you use financial literacy events to distribute content and your message. But before that, I wanted to know why a National Society of Investment Professionals like CFA Portugal wishes to execute and manage financial literacy programs.
That's a very good question. Basically, these needs arose in 2019, and a few members joined together. Portugal doesn't has quite a good tradition in terms of investing. For you to have some background, basically, Portugal ranked in the bottom from a ECB study in the bottom of euro area countries in terms of financial literacy of the general public. The savings rate in Portugal is close to half of what it is of the euro area countries, and most of those savings, so more than 50% of those savings, are in deposits, both cashing accounts and term deposits. So there is really this need of empowering and giving people the tools and capacity to navigate through this content more easily. It's really important to understand that as any developed country currently, in terms of aging population, Portuguese system is also really focus on social security, retirement schemes, and there is also this need of providing and individuals to provide savings and start investing sooner. The sooner the better for the retirement. So all of us in the society have this idea, and a few of us got together to implement it. And so far so good. We thought we as a CFAs could have or should have a give back of the knowledge that we have throughout all those years and try to help the society as a whole.
Great. So what are the primary objectives and benefits of your financial literacy program? And what are those main things that you want people to either learn or internalize from the events or the programming that you put on?
Basically, even though the financial literacy in Portugal is not that good, there are tons of programs and contents out there. So we wanted to create something that was more generic, that was available for everyone. So even though people are on more advanced or want more advanced content, or if you are just basic and that's the first thing that you listen about investing, we want to create something that fits both worlds so that we can apply to the most public, the greatest audience that we could. So we created a workshop. We started by creating a workshop. This is a 1 hour and a half roughly. And it basically has 5 main ideas that we want throughout the whole workshop to pass through to our audience. And the first of it is to for people to start creating financial goals. So you need to have this goal, why you are saving, and we teach this smart framework of getting goals that are attainable, that are measurable, that have a time frame, so that people understand and get to know why they want the money for and what is the time horizon that they should be thinking of for that particular goal. Then we introduced this idea that is quite well known, which is pay yourself first. So prioritize the savings before spending. So take out the money from the income that you receive, take it out directly to generate the income needed to fulfill those initial goals. And here we also go through the budgeting kind of definition, how people could or should do a budget of their own, separate primary needs and more discretionary needs, so that you can, in case of needed, cut any costs. Those more discretionary are the first pocket to go through. And then on the third topic, we try to basically match that time horizon of those savings based on those goals with the investings. So we basically go through several asset classes and showcase to people that more volatile asset classes also tend to perform better in the long term. So they should be more allocated or used for those kind of goals that are more long term. And for more short term goals, we should apply more conservative asset classes. And based on that, we should come up with an asset allocation. And having all this set, on the fourth topic, basically, we want to show mankind flaws. So we want to show that we as humans have a lot of behavioral biases, both cognitive and emotional. And as such, the best way of avoiding this is try to automate the processes as much as possible. So don't try to guess the market. The best is just to stick with this: pay yourself first, do your financial goals, pay yourself first, and then allocate to your asset allocation that you have done pretty fine based on your needs. And last but not least, we show what is the Portuguese reality in terms of products, financial products, what are their tax schemes, and to give people basically a hint and a flavor of what they will encounter on the financial market. And that's basically it. We try to keep it 1 hour and a half with the Q&A. Q&A tends to be a good interaction between ourselves and the public, which shows a bit that we this goal of igniting these initial thoughts for the general public, I think it has been fulfilled.
Yeah, so all of those things that you're talking about, all of those, information goals, they're things that people need regardless of, their how much money they make or, other issues like that. I mean, this is information that everyone needs. And so the big criticism of financial literacy programs in the past is one of scaling, right? How do you get that information out to the largest number of people? And I'm just wondering how you are approaching that in your program.
So basically, we start 2019, and as you know, pandemic just was across of us. We have done our first event was in person, but then in March, pandemic came, everything was locked down, so we were basically forced to online. So far, we have done 16 workshops, that I was mentioned to you, and we estimated to have reached close to 6,000 people directly. and only 3 of those workshops were in person. The other were online. The beauty about online, and that I think the pandemic was quite crucial on that. People got used to conference calls, to Zoom meetings, and as such, we can get to an audience of 300 people, and people can be where they want, and the cost of organizing that is quite small when we compare to our in-person programs or events that need a lot of more preparation, and it's much difficult to get to this much of an audience versus online. So online, in terms of scalability, has been quite welcome. And even though pandemic now is not much of an issue anymore, we still think that in our DNA, the best way forward is to keep most of the events online. Also, very important is that we are trying to do this through partnerships as much as possible. So basically, we start with the universities. Basically, all the organization marketing is done by the university, and we just go there and present. Now we are opening up to foundations, associations, and more recently corporates. So we have corporates that want to pass this information to their staff, and they just reach out to us. They do all the organization, and we just have this hour and a half. So in terms of efficiency, I think we are getting to what is considered quite a good, efficient program. We also scale in partnerships. We have done a partnership with Nova School of Business and Economics, which is one of the most well-known schools of business in Portugal. So Nova wanted to have a financial program, financial literacy program of its own, and hire us, or basically partner with us, CFA, in terms of advisory, content advisory, and tutoring of the students that then present to the general public. Just for you to have an idea, currently there are close to 6 classes, 40 people each, going through, taught by students. So in that sense, Nova School of Business as an university has much more scalability than us as a society that we currently have close to 200 members. Another topic that is on the table is for us to adjust the CFA Investment Foundation course, because we had some search from corporates that want to give a more in-depth course about these topics, and we are still analyzing this possibility, but it's also possible that we will adjust in the future the CFA Investment Foundation program to the Portuguese reality, and get to corporates that have these needs for their staff, because their staff either sell or deals with financial products on a daily basis. So those are the, let's say, 3 course of actions that we are pursuing right now. And partnerships, in my opinion, is the way forward in terms of scalability, and online as well.
You mentioned partnerships. Is there anything else? Let's say there's someone listening to this podcast that is thinking of kind of going down the same route as you are, doing either in-person or online events. Is there anything in particular that you've learned from doing that you think that other people considering that type of program should know or understand?
I mean, the first thing is that financial literacy is a world. It has from tax to accounting, project valuation, investment, savings. So you need really to focus on what you think you are adding value. There are a lot of influencers out there, YouTubers, speaking about financial literacy. That was also one of the things that make us move in the beginning, was to asking ourselves, why are they doing that? And we don't participate on this process as well. So the first thing which I think people need to move forward is to simplify. So I think we come up with this workshop, which is quite simple, available for everyone, even for people that are more advanced. They quite feel that there is a message there that is applicable to their particular situation as well. So focusing on a particular subject in this case is this relationship between financial goals, saving, investing, long-term, short-term, automate as much as possible. So get something simple and that can be listened by everyone, good content, and get that up and running. And after that, after testing the market several times and testing your audience, then adjust based on the needs that you will encounter. But my ultimate suggestion for the CFA societies that feel the need and want to participate on this, as we did, is to move forward, is to get something done, get it simple, don't complicate too much, and try to be as much entertaining as possible, because financial literacy is not properly a subject that is fashionable. Right now is a bit more, but still we need to get audience attention, and as such get think of it as simple and entertaining. I think is a good way to start with.
Great. So to wrap up, what's next for the financial literacy program at CFA Portugal, and how do people get more information on what you guys are doing?
So basically what you are aiming is, currently, as I told you, we are 200 people in society. So and in this program that are more engaged, we are currently close to 10 people. So the way that we see it moving forward is, again, through partnerships. We do normally one workshop every 2 months, sometimes one per month, but we want to try to do one once a month, and at least one big event in person per year, one or two, because it gets some attention from media and from the general public. Even though it takes more time to prepare, I think the trade-off is also good to do this hybrid, both online and in person. But I think the way forward will be much more partnerships, like the one we did with Nova School of Business and Economics, and the one we are thinking of with corporates adjusting the CFA Investment Foundation program. So that's why we are looking to that. How people can reach to us through our social media. Basically, we are on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just type CFA Society Portugal. Then we have our website. We aim to have some financial literacy content there, but I think social media is the way that we can move the most and easily communicate with people, and people get more attention or awareness of what we are doing. It's easier to communicate. So that's where you can find us and see our events.
Great. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have left for this episode. Raul, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insight into your financial literacy program at CFA Portugal.
Thank you very much, Bob, for having me.
So for you listening, there are several ways to get involved with the Financial Literacy Network and get information about other programs and best practices in creating and managing financial literacy programs. We have a LinkedIn group and a website, which is financialliteracynetwork.org. And of course, we have these podcasts, so like this one. So thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the next podcast.